Hi, I'm Judy and welcome to my channel, Judy in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to make some delicious chicken noodle soup. This soup was a recipe that we've had in our family for a long time. It was my mother's soup and it was one that I used to make all the time in my restaurant, the bakery, bistro that I used to own. And customers loved it. They would buy it in bulk to take home and feed to ailing relatives, to have for company, just to have on hand. Whatever, people really did enjoy it. So I'm going to show you how. This recipe makes about 8 good servings. So if you want to double it, increase it in any way, it's easy to do. But I'm going to start with 10 cups of water in this large soup pot. And then I'm going to add, I've got one really large boneless, skinless chicken breast here. The recipe calls for 2. You can add any amount of chicken that you want, anywhere from the 1 up to however many you want. So feel free to add all the chicken you want. Then I've got 1 cup of diced celery, which was about 2½ stalks. I've got 1 cup of peeled diced carrot, which was about 1 really good sized carrot. I'm going to add that in there. Then I have 1 cup of diced yellow onion. Then my secret ingredient. This thing is really important and you don't want to leave it out. What I have now is 1 good sized diced Roma tomato. Yep, tomato. This is not a tomato chicken soup, not at all. It doesn't come out like a tomatoey soup. But the tomato adds a special flavor that makes it really good, and you don't want to leave it out. It is not the same without the tomato. If you don't have a Roma tomato on hand, but you have the regular large round tomatoes, use about half of one of those. It ought to be fine. So just don't leave the tomato out. That's what makes it so special. Okay, then I have 2 tablespoons of chicken bouillon granules. Any brand you like is fine. I have 1 tablespoon here of dried parsley flakes, 2 bay leaves, and I have 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And that's all there is to it. So then we'll take it, cover it up, put it on the stove, turn it on high and bring it to a boil, and then turn it down and let it simmer for at least 1 hour, preferably 2 hours, because at 2 hours that chicken is very tender, the vegetables are tender, and the flavors have really started to blend, so it makes it a delicious soup at that point. Then you can take your chicken, cut it up into whatever size pieces you want, and return it back to the pot and serve it. Now my suggestion with the noodles is not to cook the noodles in the soup. Why? This can become a foundation for a lot of delicious recipes. If you put the noodles in there, then not so. Also, if you put the noodles in there, the longer they sit in there, the more mushy they're going to get. So I suggest that you cook your noodles separately, keep them separate from the soup, put them in your serving bowls, and then put the soup on top of it. And you've got nice texture to the noodles that way. They're not going to become mushy. When you're done with the soup, I suggest that you freeze it in small increments rather than just letting it sit in the refrigerator and feel like you have to just keep eating soup and soup and soup, because this is wonderful to use in a variety of other recipes. To find the recipe for this soup, go to my website, handmadeinoiowa.com, look for the recipes page, and I have a little soup booklet there that you can get. And this recipe, as well as others, are in there. This is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. I sure hope this helps.